An early adopter or a joiner? Well, what is a joiner? A joiner is a person who readily joins groups or campaigns or clubs. And and apparently I've got a chirping gremlin in the background, or chipmunks. So if people hear that and it becomes annoying, please let me know, because um, I don't know how to cure it, but we want to know if it's bugging people or not. A joiner in today's digital world basically finds it easy to opt in, that signing up for free becomes like an obsession. And the associated subjects or concepts or the purpose for joining becomes secondary, or starts out secondary, and might be even insignificant, but the people just want to join. They don't want to be left out. They've got to be included and look like they're participating in something that matters, but they're just joiners. An early adopter, on the other hand, is doing his best or her best to do research on a subject and discover more in order to understand what they are considering, and therefore determining and defining the value of joining. Furthermore, they're not just joining and going along for the ride, they are choosing to engage. Now that's an early adopter. And also, an early adopter is assuming that they can engage with something that's going to significantly affect the outcome of their project or their campaigning or their internet marketing or whatever. Marketing smarties do not engage in every single new technology that comes out, or trend, or platform automatically, and we engage in to test the concept. That's why we do it, and to learn the value and determine the value or leverage in adopting a concept, platform, or strategy. So the purpose of the Smarties in supporting education, engagement, and the building of influence and studying inbound marketing is to curate new and popular things and give the people who are watching this program some honest feedback upon which you can build your own program for yourself. This week we are hopefully completing the part 3 of our presentation on Google Collections. We've given it a try twice and really realized that we have not been giving it a proper presentation in attention. So today we will attempt to do that. And basically this is in order to give you some definitive reasons and examples on why you should be incorporating collections as a new part of your tool for your strategies. We are also giving our audience and viewers the heads up on a new technology that just came out recently. And we are actually going to be featuring this new technology this coming week on July 4th, and that new technology and platform is called Crowdcast. Greetings, Saturday morning marketing smarties and smarties everywhere. Thank you for being with us on this Saturday morning, or whatever time it is in your day. We appreciate you being here. We truly appreciate the people who attend this gathering from all over the world, and even watch the replay when you can't actually be with us live. Thank you for being with us. Now let me specify, you are not a joiner if you're here on purpose, and I appreciate that. So let's become engaged. Joining me in the green room today are the usual suspects, and starting with Karen V. Chin, our San Francisco marketer and social engagement specialist. And we'd like her to say hi and introduce herself briefly.
Hi, everyone. Roland, Terry. It's exciting that we're going to hopefully finish this today and go through this whole thing called Google Plus and Collections.
And I'm going to step out as much as possible when this gets going, and let you run for it. So, get on your starting block there, and we're about to go for it. And also joining us in the green room is Terry Lee Britton, and I address him as the jack of all trades and master of many. He's from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Terry, say hi.
Hey everybody, I'm very excited to be hearing all of this. We're going to get a real step-by-step with the collection, and this is going to be very fun, I think. So I'm going to also be pretty much staying out till the very end.
Okay, and also we may be joined briefly with by Molly Youngblood Geiger, a Google lady from Jacksonville, Florida, and she's having some issues with her morning and may or may not be able to join. So we're hoping that she will. But in the meantime, people in the comment stream, please tell us where you're from and say good morning, and that way some people who are also visiting can see where you are and where you're coming to join us from, and we can start engaging there. And other than that, thank you for being here, and we are going to turn the console over to Karen and let her go. It's all yours.
Thanks, Roland. So we're going to start this all over again. So I know for the folks who are watching, you may or may not have seen the first 2 episodes, but we're going to start it all over again with Google Plus Collections. And I will, I've created this presentation, so at the end you will get access to it, so don't worry, you don't need to take notes because it's all here, and again you'll get access to the slides at the end, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation. Okay, present. So can people see my screen?
Not yet.
Because if you can't, let me know.
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Let me do this one more time. Okay, share screen. Oop, tunnel of death. Tunnel of death. Where does that go?
There it is. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so as we were mentioning, we're going to go deeper here on Google Plus Collections and why businesses should use them. You can think of it also as how you can use Google Plus Collections for not only your business but also for yourself. What is a Google Plus Collection? I think as we talked about it here previously, I'm going to go quickly here. It was created in May for both profiles and pages, so you can use it for your profile and also for your business pages. It's currently only available for Android and the web, so not available for iOS. The whole idea that you just have to keep in mind with what a collection is, it's just basically based on a topic or theme for your collection. So you can group your posts, your links, your videos, your albums, your photos, your collections themselves that you find interesting, HOAs that you find interesting. That's kind of how you kind of want to think of it. So just think of it, the key is that it's a topic or a theme. The other thing is also that you really want to make sure that you understand is that collections is very similar to Pinterest boards. So if you're familiar with Pinterest and the whole pinning concept and how that creation of a board and that you can share that board or follow a board, it's pretty much that's what collections is all about. So why is Google Collections important for businesses? Again, I wanted to talk about how you can easily showcase your products or services. You can do that from blog posts, pictures, videos. You can also easily increase your followers. You can also increase engagement. So the idea is when you think about it, you've got a board, and unlike Pinterest, you have a post where people can, just like Google, a regular Google Plus post is you can plus one it, you can share it, you can comment on it, and it also for businesses it also increases your authority. So the more folks that are following that collection, when you think about it, Google search and indexing will come into play. And lastly, each of the Google Plus collections has its own unique URL, as similar to a Google Plus post. So you don't have to, for example, your customers have to be have access to Google Plus. You could easily share your unique URL in all your other marketing messages. So here's some ideas for Google Plus collection for you if you haven't kind of thought about what you wanted to do. I got some of these ideas from Social Media Examiner, and I've added a couple of my own. The first one I think easily is share tips. So if you notice if you are familiar with Google Plus collections and if you're familiar with the Google Plus stream, you're noticing that people are sharing tips like social media tips and tricks, travel tips, things like that. And so you have in your collections that you have in your previous, in your profile in general, when you think about it, or your page, you probably have that material. The posts are there. It's just adding on to the collection. Other ideas that you could do is a marketing or an ad campaign. So if you have a campaign that's coming out in the fall, you can start a collection on that and have people follow that collection. Organize ideas. So if you want to break out different ideas and just focus on that particular idea for a collection, you can do that. If you are a travel company, you might want to think about how to travel and have ideas on how to go to London and what to see in London, and their theme could be London and all of its highlights. Another idea is for freebie sales and coupons. So if you're a big coupon collector in terms of post, or you see things that are free, you might want to start a collection on what you see there. Or if you are a business, if you have a freebie or a sale or a collection or a coupon that's coming up, you might want to post it in that collection. Other ideas is for your blog, videos, and photos. So here's another idea of reaching to another audience. So you have your blog posts, you might want to create that also into a collection. Hangouts on Air. So I know Roland has his own Saturday Marketing Smarties, and he includes all of his Hangouts on Air invites there. Other ideas also, as I'm going through this, is sorting the news. So if you have different news items that you have for your business that you want to sort out for buckets, the idea here again is that the collection, you don't have to have the follower circle you and follow you for all your items. They could just sort and only circle you, or excuse me, follow you for that particular news topic that they're interested in. The other fun thing is grouping different memes. So, for example, for myself, I have a couple because I'm active with dogs and Fido Friday. You can group all of your Fido Fridays into one into one topic or one collection, excuse me. And then daily specials. So, for example, if you're a restaurant or you have a daily special or a weekly special, you want to show that off, you can add that into a collection. So I wanted to show what a collection is in terms of the business page example. And what we've talked about previously was one that's created by John Quatal. He is a big aviation buff, and he also has his business page where it's called Gazing Skyward TV. And of the many collections that he has, this one in particular, This Day in Aviation History, has been extremely successful for him. His follower count has been, in the beginning of the month, is about 900. Toward the end, it's getting over 900. But the interesting thing about it is that he started this collection about 2 weeks after it initiated, so about mid-May or so. His collection has now about 2,300 followers, and as I was mentioning before, when you create the collection itself, the count starts with the number of followers of that day for you, with your page or your profile. But people can always, once this collection starts, they can always start following you. And what he's finding that's really fascinating is that he is growing his follower count to now from 900 followers in terms of his entire page. For his one particular collection, he has now 2,300 followers. So when you kind of do the math, when we started this conversation in the beginning of June, he had about 1,600 followers. So he's grown to about 700 followers in the last month. Or we kind of do the math, it's about a 50% growth. So you kind of think about that in terms of the idea with collections is that you can, as a business, have people following you and just following you for that one particular topic that they're interested in. He's also, as you could tell, building authority because of this, and for his engagement, as you could see in this presentation, he's got 88 people who've liked it, 17 shares, and 16 comments. He's finding that with collections themselves, that folks are easily following him, and they're, of course, the engagement, but they're also going and looking at his other posts within the collection, and he's kind of seeing that kind of cross-pollination going on, and that then, you know, for some of them even further, they're actually moving from looking at this one particular collection, and then he's got others within his Gazing Skyward TV that they're also deciding to follow. So it's a really powerful tool when you think about that engagement and the building of it.
So I have
now,
just want to interrupt briefly that Terry has a statement that I'll let him actually address himself, but I wanted to make the acknowledgement that a lot of people dropping in today. Christy Lambert's eating popcorn, Bill Graham's here, Lowell Ann is here, Andrew Hatchett is here, Richard Clarkson, John Quatal, glad you're here because we're talking about your stuff, and Ron Snaberger, Barbara Quick, and I'll never get around to everybody, but just wanted to mention a few people and to say that Terry makes this comment. Maybe you'd like to follow up on it briefly, Terry, but he talks about this blowing away Pinterest, but I have no experience with Pinterest whatsoever.
Well, I mean, you want me to follow up? I just talking with two people who were distressed that Pinterest was there, and everybody they know is all hot and anxious about using Pinterest and all this stuff, and yet they're a non-visual company. They really don't have topics that are visual cues, legal, you know, information businesses, consultants. Not a lot of pictures really that they could post, and you know, and Pinterest sort of gets the vibe that it's all about pictures, pictures, pictures. Whereas here you got posts, you've got videos, you have shared articles, you have the ability to have the comments being shown, the shareability, the fact that your whole collection can be a link itself, can be embedded in a website, I imagine. So, I mean, this just is so far beyond pictures that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Terry, too, when you think about it, if we're back to the legal, legal area and for accounting and what have you, I mean, I could easily see for an accounting firm that they can easily create a collection. So, for example, if you're a tax accountant, IRS tips, where you collected all the posts on how to, make sure you don't ever meet the IRS knocking at your door. You could easily have that. You could also include that your blogs about how not to have the IRS knocking on your door, videos talking about how the IRS should not be knocking on your door. You could do a whole bunch with collections. I think it's an awesome thing, and it's also different from Pinterest in the sense that, again, you get that engagement that you don't necessarily get with Pinterest. Yeah, you can get the little hearts and all that good stuff, but you don't necessarily get that immediate conversation that goes on with with a general Google Plus post.
Okay, we're back to the presentation, and I will let you stream on.
Okay, so I'm going to now take you guys on basically I call it the step-by-step how to create and customize a Google collection. So this part of the presentation is going to be a lot of slides, and again, just watch the visuals here and just kind of sit back and relax and just enjoy it because there's just a lot to go through, and we'll take it from there. So again, how to create a collection. So if you've never ever created one, if you're a first timer, what you need to do is basically go into your profile or your page and click on the drop down, and you will see collections there. From there, you're going to get this page that's going to say, click a collection. And here, this is where you start off with that you're going to create a collection by naming it. I really believe in terms of being descriptive as much as possible, so that it can be easily found in search, and also appealing enough for your audience or followers to want to know more about it. So it's easily described what that collection is. When I created this presentation, I had the tagline as optional. I think it's now rolled out for everyone. It's just started, I think, about 2-3 weeks ago. So if you have it, you should see it. And that idea is, again, a tagline. I mean, how cool is that, to describe even further what your collection is? So, I mean, to me, that's kind of like free marketing. You can add your motto or your logo, or just describing what that is. So what I've done here is, for my title tips, is I've created here, it's a dog world, and then my tagline is all things dog. And also for the title, it's a 50-character limit, so try to be, because you don't want to go over, because it'll get cut off in the visual. The other thing I wanted to kind of point out to you is that when you create a collection, your choices are at the time are set very much like communities, because once you set it, you can't change the audience. So I have found, here's a great tip, I have found that you should always check custom, pick public, and then create a circle called, I'm calling it Dogs G Plus Collection. And so here's this opportunity where you can add and subtract people in that circle. Because if you don't do this at this time, and you just pick public, for example, you cannot add circles. You cannot. You can't do that. So this is the opportunity where you can. And here is where, if you want to grow that circle base, and you find people are following you, this is your opportunity that you can add. And if you find folks that you want to subtract and uncircle, you can easily remove that. So this gives you the flexibility of having this circle as a placeholder for you. So now you get this created for you, and what Google picks out for you is they got their own stock photos. But what I find is that for your profile or your business page, you want to basically customize it by having a visual. And here's a way to do it. So what you do is you click on the Customize button, and what it takes you is basically how you do any of your photos. Is your photos are from your desktop. Just going through the same photo process is basically you click on that link, and then you can upload your photos from your computer. What happened?
No, Karen, you're still here. You just clicked the wrong tab.
Okay. I'm here?
Yes. Use your yeah, just start playing the presentation again.
Okay. Because I was listening, and I heard like it was just quiet, like there was no noise.
I'm trying to be quiet.
Okay. It's like, what happened? Like, okay. So if, as I was mentioning before, is basically you can create your customized photo, and you click the Customize button, which gives you then to edit, and you can choose the photo of your choice from your desktop, which I did was the dog. What we talked last time here is that Google basically gives you stock photography and color choices. The stock photography, I highly recommend that you customize it and use your own photography or your own graphics as to make it your own. The color choices are basically colors that Google selects, and you can't change the color, which is basically the border. And here, as I showed here before, is that you can click on this and have your photo appear. And the template for the cover photo is 1080 by 607 pixels. And how I've used it is use my own photography or create my own graphics. And when I create my own graphics, I use Canva. And lastly, as I was mentioning through the buttons, so you customize. This little arrow here is to share this collection to others, and then you have the cogwheel, which is either you could either edit or delete the collection.
Say, Karen, you can hit that allow button at the top. That might be why it kicked you out.
Okay. 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 So now so again, showing that what a customized Google collection is, because I uploaded the photo of my dog, this is a really interesting thing that I wanted to point out to you, and I think it's because of making this mobile responsive, is that when you click on the little arrow here, it expands, and so you see a much larger picture after you're clicking. And so when you think about your image, when you do create it, whether it's a photograph or a graphic, this top half and this bottom half gets cut off. So you have to kind of keep everything in the middle. So when you think about it, 124 pixels on the top and 123 pixels on the bottom are going to be removed from that. And I think from what the last couple of weeks we were talking about in the last session, Terry, you were going to create a template for this Google collection cover photo.
Yes, I did already. I'll paste it in the comments right now.
Okay, great. Okay. So now that you created this collection, where do you find it? So now that you've created it, it's going to now show up on either your profile or your business page. Again, through either the drop-down or within your profile or your business page itself, you see the word collections. It will then take you to all the collections that you've created. And again, as I mentioned before, you have now a unique URL created for your collection, and that you have also created this area here is when you can, like with any other Google Plus post, you can easily start your collection in terms of writing a post, sharing a link here. Whoever is typing at this moment, could you mute yourself, please?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was still live.
Yes. So now we're going to take you to moving versus resharing a post into a Google Plus collection.
One second. I just wanted to acknowledge that we've been joined by Molly, and I'm not really going to give you much of a chance to do anything but say hi, Molly. We're going to jump right back into the presentation, but go ahead and say hi, please.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Sorry I was a little tardy today. I had something that required my immediate attention, but I'm glad to be here and learning about collections with Karen.
Okay, thank you very much. And we do have a couple of comments that I would like to present. And starting with Andrew Hatchett, who says he totally agrees with Terry Lee Britton on collections versus Pinterest. So apparently he has some experience with it too. And then Lowell Ann Fuglesang says, Karen loved that point about collections facilitating more engagement than Pinterest. And Terry, you said this, but you should be able to actually comment on this live, and I should not have to fill in the vocal on this. So if you want to make a comment.
Yeah, well, it's David Amerland made a post today that about how he was trying to explain to some clients that why he spends so much time on Google Plus and not all over the place in other places and even on his own website. And he was explaining how, well, there's no social network or website that can enhance the trust factor the way the Google Plus community enhances the trust factor. And so just by doing this kind of thing, doing these collections, you're helping to bring people in from your various tribes all over the place into seeing what Google Plus scene is like, and what this network is like, and I think it's going to amplify and accelerate the building of trust with one's clients in a massive way. I totally agree with David Amerland, in other words. So.
Yeah, that's a excellent point, Terry. Thank you very much. And we're going right back to Karen.
Okay, so we're going along, and so this is area here I really wanted to show. This is a great tip for moving versus resharing a post, because this is my own personal experiences of how to do this. So the difference between moving and versus resharing a Google Plus collection. So when you move a post to a collection, you're basically just repositioning it. You're just moving it over. You're not. It doesn't alert people that you're moving it. It doesn't go into your stream and saying I've done something. It just quietly moves over. It will also carry over the +1s and the reshare numbers with you. Versus if you reshare, it creates a brand new post by making a copy of the original post. So you kind of lose the juice from the +1s and the reshare numbers because it starts all over. The count starts again. Or clock starts again. And then resharing puts the post into your stream. So be cautious, because if you do many of them at the time, and I think a lot of people, if you can remember in the beginning of May when people were starting with their collections, all of a sudden you would see this active stream of folks moving things that you didn't understand what was going on, but you could see everyone's collections were just all of a sudden appearing, and you could see maybe 5 or 10 of them all at once on your stream. That's what was happening, is that people were resharing it, so it announces to the world that you are sharing, and it shows up, and you may or may not want that. So I wanted to make the distinction of what the difference is from moving a post to a collection versus resharing into a collection. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in terms of moving an existing post into a collection. So this area here, there are 2 different ways of moving an existing post into a collection. I'm just going to show you areas in terms of the real estate that you can see. So from here, this is where I have an existing post. I basically typed in for the Google Plus search dogs Karen V. Chin. I found this, and I want to basically quietly share this into or move this into an existing collection. And what you can do, there's 2 ways of doing it. The first way is basically clicking up here the arrow, or the downward arrow, and you will then get this pop-up. Drop down, and it will say move post to collection. And so when you click on that easily, you then would go here and find where, if you have multiple collections, search for the one area you want to move to, and I want to move it into, it's a dog world. You get that ready, and then you basically move that to the collection. The other way of doing it, besides clicking here on the downward arrow, you can also click here. There's a little downward arrow here next to the reshare button. So you see that here, what I'm pointing out to you. When you click on that, this drop down will appear, and here are all of my collections that are listed. And you basically click here. It's a dog world. So what does that look like now in your collection? Well, now that you've moved it over, it just appears over here in your existing G++ in your collection. And as you notice, the count, my +1s, and my comments have all moved over here. And then when you are looking at this in your stream, it's now being grouped. Now is it's a dog world. So whatever you have in your collection will always have this grouped as your title up here, in terms of giving that area of description, so that if someone is familiar or interested in what they like of your posts, like for John and his aviation, and he's got this day in aviation, if you like this, you can easily click on this link and take you to basically the entire collection page. And then that's where, as I mentioned before about the engagement and having followers now follow other areas that they might be interested in terms of other posts that you have listed. And that's where I find that I've had things in my collections where or existing posts I've done 6 months ago that people are still finding and clicking on. So I think that's a kind of a really cool concept when you think about it. So similar to Pinterest, where Pinterest pins have a extended life, I see now with the collections, you have that extension again with your post. Roland, does anyone have any questions?
Well, I certainly am watching this one again.
Okay.
Yeah. No questions presently. I was trying to message you that, but a lot of people are congregating and talking about different things. Andrew Hatchett unfortunately must run, but we inherited Lon McClure to take his place.
Hey, Lon. So now we're going to basically now talking about sharing and resharing a post into a Google Plus collection. So we talked about moving. Now we're just talking about sharing and what does that look like. So if you want to share a post into a collection, you find something that you're interested in reading, and it could be your post or someone else's post, but you want to basically share that. All you have to do is now click on the share arrow. It will then take you, as always, to basically share this post. You can share it into circles. You can share it with individual names, but you can only share into a collection or a community, but you can't share to both a collection and to a community at the same time, if that makes sense to you. Now, resharing a post into a Google Plus collection, this is where I mentioned before, where you will lose the existing information here, with the likes. I mean, excuse me, the likes with the plus ones and the shares. You basically click again the arrow, and you want to share that into a collection, and you want to then share it into it's a dog world. This is kind of where you would do that. And once you click on this, you cannot share it with a circle and or names. So you share it only to a collection or to community, but you can't add to it. So you reshare a post into a Google collection. Again, clicking on this arrow, you hit the reshare, you go through the same process, and same as sharing a post, you can share into circles and individual names, can only share into a collection or a community, but not both, and not with circles and or names together. If you wanted to share this into, resharing it into a collection, again, you click on 14 Days of Music, as I chose here as a test, and I clicked here, but as you notice, I've lost, when I reshared it into this collection, whatever I had here is gone. All the comments are gone. So when you start, if you click on that reshare button here, and as I mentioned before, if you do this too many times in a short amount of time, it can look really spammy on someone's stream, because they're going to see all this activity, and you don't necessarily want to do that. Because everyone who has circled and or is part of your collection will basically be notified. They'll just see this in your stream, in their stream, excuse me.
Okay, before we go on to deleting, I'd love a recap on the differences between the moving, sharing, and resharing, because that's a little bit confusing, especially since sharing and resharing use the same word, sharing.
I know, it's kind of complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
should we recap this at the end?
No, this is the time to do it, because we just went through all this confusing sounding rigmarole, and I need clarification. And I know everybody else does.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, when you move a post, let me take it back here. So when you move a post into a collection, right, you're just basically repositioning. It's just think of it as basically you're moving one piece of paper to another pile, but you're not announcing it to the world. You're just moving it quietly. It just goes into its folder and it's done. Resharing is basically, when you kind of think about it, is it's creating a whole new link. It's creating a whole new, it becomes a brand new post in a way. And so that triggers, and it becomes you don't get the you don't get the existing plus ones and the reshare numbers carry over. It becomes brand new, and so when you reshare it, it then gets announced into within your stream what you're doing. So that kind of makes sense. And then sharing. So sharing is different because what you're doing is you're sharing a post that you see, and you're basically moving over in a sense that you're doing the same thing with reshare, but your audience or your followers will see that because they'll get notified too.
Now, when you say share, is that somebody else's post or is that your post? Because share and reshare seem, that's where I'm lost. Like, which one's my post? Which one's other people's posts?
So here's the complicated part. Sharing could either be your post or someone else's post.
Right.
Resharing is, I believe, just your post because you're resharing it, and this is what causes the confusion. And Google has its confusion with its languages, with its terminology. Does that help? Am I confusing people more?
No, I think that's good clarification. I just wanted to add to what you're saying. Since you can't change the visibility setting for a collection, you may want to consider choosing a specific circle of people that you can edit later. You're automatically following the collections of people in your circle. Head on over to the collections area in Google Plus to manage which collections you follow. I actually posted in our comment stream, and I'll try to get to the event page, but Google does have featured collections that they feature within the collections area, so you may want to check that out to get some good ideas. Previous posts can be moved into new collections you have created by clicking the arrow to the right on the share icon, but that is only public posts can be moved to public collections. If you have several posts you want to move to a collection, do them all at once so Google groups them and prevents you from spamming your followers, and you can share an entire collection by visiting that collections page and copying the URL by clicking the share button arrow to post it to your stream. So I just wanted to share those tips.
So what Molly is saying is that for the share functionality is that you can click on share and this will show up on your stream. And so that if you do a number of them at the same time, it can look, in my opinion, spammy. Because that was what I was getting the feeling in the beginning of May when people were starting to create those collections, that all of a sudden you see all this activity coming from someone that you normally don't see a lot of activity. It's because they were basically moving things along. And that was more on the reshare part versus the share. Does that help, Terry?
Okay, so best practice is use move or share, avoid reshare.
Avoid reshare. I mean, personally, I don't like to reshare because I did that this morning again, and so if you were following me this morning, I basically clicked the reshare button and a whole bunch of them within a short period of time, and there was a lot of activity going on, and for some people, it could turn someone off.
I totally agree with that. You don't want to appear to be spammy. So I second what Karen's saying.
Yeah, you just don't want to do that. And it was really funny because, for example, this one where I moved it from a different collection. So I just moved it into something different from what the category was. 14 Days of Music. It was amazing because at the end of the day, I had like 40 people plus win it, which was really strange to me because it was a music collection. And I thought, how weird was that? So you just have to kind of be careful because what I'm also reading too is that people are also getting annoyed where if the collection does not necessarily match what you're sharing into the collection, people find that again annoying and spammy because you're not being truthful, right? You're basically posting things that have no relation to, and you could actually have someone unfollow you. Easily because they don't want this on their stream, and we're gonna talk about the following and unfollowing of collections in a minute. So here's the other thing I really wanted to point out to was deleting a Google Plus collection. because this happened to me, and I wanted to kind of share this experience to you because I didn't want to do this intentionally, but it did happen. But here's just the general concept. If you want to delete a Google Plus collection, you basically go into where your collections are, and you pick what you want to delete. So I wanted, for example, to delete Friday Lunch Special. You then click the cog wheel here, and you have either your choices of edit a collection or delete a collection. So if you wanted to edit a collection, as we mentioned before, here's your opportunity to basically change the title if you wanted to. You can easily change the tagline if you wanted to, but you cannot change your settings, because once you create that collection initially, that is it. You're kind of stuck with it. So if you wanted to, add a circle or any of that stuff, you can't do that now because this is public, or you can just add names, but you can't add after that. The other area is delete a collection. So this is the part where this happened to me in my own personal experience. So that you delete a collection, clearly when you delete it and you have this box checked off, it says, I understand that all of the posts in this collection will be permanently deleted. If you have your choices, either keep the collection or delete it. If you hit the delete, everything that's in this collection is gone. So what happened to me was I had an Apple collection. I had Apple posts that I've basically have curated for the past 8 months. And when I was fiddling around with my collection and I didn't like what I was doing, I thought, okay, I'm just going to delete it and restart all over again. And when I hit that delete button, all of the posts that I had in that collection, basically, this is my message that I got. It said basically, this post cannot be found, the URL may be incorrect, blah, 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 the post may be deleted. It was gone. So everything that you've had, so if you had posts that are written 2 years ago and you put it in a collection and you deleted that collection, it will be gone forever. So you don't necessarily, if you do delete a collection, I highly recommend for the things that you want to make sure that you keep and that they stay active, or that's a live link on your stream, you want to move them out. So move the collection or move the posts outside of the collection back into your stream before you delete the collection. So that, to me, I lost like 15 posts that day. I was really not happy. There was a slight scream that happened when I realized what I did, because all of that work is gone. I can't get it back. And so, for example, I went back. So I found this post that when I deleted my Apple collection, I did have it in delete technology news. It shows up, but if anyone who actually wanted to click on the post itself and see what I wrote, it's not there anymore. You basically get this message. But the weird thing is, you do still get access to the content, which is basically this post on an Apple Store being having a grand opening in China. You have access to this. So if someone clicked on it, they can see this. They just can't see what you wrote here. It's gone.
Is there a way of en masse moving all of your posts out of one collection and into a new collection that's just kind of an archival collection that you make private?
No, you can't do it en masse. You have to do it manually, unfortunately, at this moment. I wish there was, because that was the reason why I was thinking in my mind when I deleted the collection. I thought, okay, I delete it. I just thought of the collection itself because I didn't like the graphic on the cover photo. The cover photo that I was using, and I thought it would still be there in my stream, but it was gone, completely gone.
Oh, it's going to be rough on people. They wind up with 1,000 items in a collection that they want to.
Yeah. I would imagine that's something probably in a future release with Google Collections. But at this moment, there's no way of massive removing it outside. You would have to go manually remove post by post.
I think that's something that might change in the future, though, because I think as the product develops, I know like with Google AdWords, a long time ago, everything you had to do manually, but now they have all kind of bulk editors. So I think as the product evolves and there's a need to do mass deletions, then it will eventually get fixed. So.
Yeah. So back to this thing I just wanted to show you is that, so here are some of the links that I got information from and I give you access to. I provided here on this presentation. And I wanted to show you also, just in general, if anyone has questions, I can answer them now. But I wanted to show you my collections and show you a couple of things that I've learned.
So just before you get into those collections, let me catch up on a couple of comments from people that Christy Lambert says this Prezzo is rockin'. So of course it is. And so Carmen Mandich commented, "Thank you very much, Karen, for explaining how to move a post to a collection. I reshared one post and it looked very spammy." And then also William Rock says, "I like the fact that I can move posts into collections without reposting it to the audience on their walls. That was what had stopped me before, me from posting more before." So various comments there. Just wanted to share that with you, Karen. Back to you.
Oh, great. Yeah, so yeah, definitely if you want to move existing posts that you have and you don't want to announce it to the world that you're trying to move it into a collection, I strongly suggest that you move to a collection, not reshare or share, because that will just create a brand new post. You'll lose all of the comments and the plus ones that you would get. It just won't be there because it would be gone. But what I wanted to show you, because here's my collections, is I also believe that you easily, for branding purposes, you could, as a business, create your own graphics to make it more customizable for your business. And so what I've done here is I've used Canva. And I've created, graphics, all these graphics that you see. These are my own photos to make it more personable. And I have slowly been trying to transition and remove the stock photography, which you could see of the light bulb and the Bay Bridge. But the rest of it you could see there. The other thing I wanted to show was when you look at one in particular. Here. So as Molly was mentioning before, with collections, there's a difference between a public collection and a private collection. A private collection, I really think the value there is where many people have created their own private community so that they can easily put their own their posts and their links and what have you, and it's only limited to themselves or to people that they want to share with. You could easily do that here with collections here. You can make it public as you initially created, or you can make it private where you can have your own, I would describe it as a private collection, like an Evernote, if you're familiar with that, where you can have all of your ideas that you want to be the way you think, the way you see your competitors, easily could all be in one private collection that's not necessarily shared to the public. And so to me, I think that's really powerful because you can easily, as a private collection, have your own version of Evernote where you have the different things that interest you all in one area that you can easily get to. Because for me, with my collections now within my own profile, oops, did I lose you? Oops.
You're still here.
Okay, because you guys get quiet on me. I wonder.
Yeah, I know what's happening. Yeah.
Listening and learning.
Yeah. So the other thing is that with collections themselves now, when you look at your own stream, it's easy now to get to. At least for me, it's easy to get to what I want to go back and look at my previous or my existing post. It's easily all kind of filed away, like Pinterest boards. You can easily get to it. And then you can see all the things that you have collected along the way in the last, however long you've had this collection and whatever you put in there, it's all here.
I would add to what Karen's saying.
So that's what the beauty of it is.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to add real quickly to what you're talking about, having it in all one place and being able to access it is when you use collections, it actually has a lot of SEO factor, meaning Google treats a collection the same way that it treats a post. So I just quickly wanted to interject that.
Yeah. So when the idea is there, so as you're going through, I have been pretty much trying to keep my particular topics and bucket them into collections so that it helps not only for myself to go back to, but I also believe it helps my followers to easily get access to the information of all the things I've collected. It's all right there and then you can easily get access to. So that's what I wanted to kind of show, how it can make it easier versus if you never had any collections and you just had post after post after post. It's really hard to find a post because what you would have to do is you would have to do a Google search, a Google Plus search, and search, manually if you can remember what the topic is or your name, and you would have to go and look for things like for example, dogs. Oops. You would have to do something like this and search for it. And so I post, quite a bit of dogs, and I would have to kind of dig through for, months of going down, Google Plus search to look for something. But now, because I have it in one collection, I can just easily go to that collection and then find all of the different posts that I've had posted in it. So hopefully that answers a lot of your questions about collections, and that you're now excited and jazzed to start your own, because I think it's a really great tool.
We had one question from Christy that I have no idea. She says, can you also maybe do a Google data backup and restore partially? I have done a backup but never looked at the restore.
Yes, you can. There is a, I forget the name of it, but I'll have to do some research. There is a section within Google where you can back up all of your data. So the answer is yes.
Okay,
but
well, that's cool.
But I think though is that if you delete the collection, it's gone, right?
Yes, if you delete the collection, it's gone. But if you want to back up all your data as is, I forget the name of the platform. It escapes me at the moment, but I am aware that there is a place where you can back up all of your Google data across multiple platforms.
Are you talking about that third-party Backupify?
No, this is a product offered by Google. We were discussing it in the Google Partners community, oh God, it's probably 7-8 months ago. So I just, it jogged my memory that I'm aware it is there. I just have to find out the name of it.
Okay.
So Carmen makes a comment here. There is nothing worse than losing everything forever in one click. And also William Rock was saying something similar, that we are learning strategies right now and tactics that are going to save some of these things from happening. So it's very good idea to listen to actually what is being said in this broadcast and actually review your strategies and tactics so that you can save more of your post information and learn good best practices so that none of this stuff is lost. So if we helped some people learn some new stuff today based on that, I think that we've really done an important job. But more than that, if we take this and extend it out and use this stuff for practical application for businesses and for hobbyists that are serious about building their communities and their following, that is the power of collections. So Karen, we're just about wrapping it up. Is there any final words or things that we need to cover?
No, I've pretty much covered as much I could cover today. So like I said, hopefully everyone has more in-depth knowledge about collections and that you're willing to go out and actually create them. I find, like I said, for me personally, it has helped me tremendously just with my stream and just filing purposes of just getting access to the information.
So I look at this as it should be like a study program or something where you should take this particular hangout of the 3 in our series. Watch it about 2 or 3 times, put it to use, and start practicing using the things and the principles that you learned from this hangout, because that's what's going to guide you in being successful with your collections posts. And you might very well find a good strategy and a basic campaign concept that is really going to affect your business outreach and your hobby outreach or whatever you're doing. So by golly, I think that we've achieved the goal finally, and with just a couple minutes overtime, we've finally topped off collections. So any last comments? I think it's time to wrap it up. I really appreciate everybody in the audience for being here. I hope it was delivered. I know it was a technical delivery, not as colorful or fun as some things, but there was a lot of great information. And if you really listen to this and follow what Karen's delivered, it's going to benefit you greatly. So we're going to be signing off now, and thank you very much for everyone joining Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties, and we will see you again. Bye now.